As we get ready for this Sunday's Super Bowl, we are honored to welcome Big Stone Gap, Virginia's own Thomas Jones to Daytime for a look back at his career and a look ahead to this weekend's big game. Good morning, Thomas. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. Good morning.
Let's take a look back at your career in the Super Bowl. You played in Super Bowl 41. What do you remember about that game?
Yeah, it was an incredible opportunity, an incredible experience. You, as a kid, you always dream of playing in the Super Bowl. You watch it every year, and only have hopes to be able to play in it and experience it. And I was fortunate enough to do that with the Chicago Bears. It was like a dream from the time we won the NFC Championship game against the Saints. The reality of me actually going to the Super Bowl didn't hit me until maybe 3 or 4 days later. And next thing you know, it's game time, and then it's over. That's how fast it happens. But one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life, for sure.
Now, you had two great games there in a row. You rushed for 123 yards in the NFC Championship against New Orleans, and then you rushed for 112 yards in the Super Bowl. You put together two really impressive days there.
Yeah, I was fortunate and blessed to be able to play well in those games. The year before, the season before, in 2005, we ended up in the playoffs, and we lost the divisional round to the Carolina Panthers, and that was a tough loss at home. And so the next season, as a team, we were just really determined to get back to the playoffs and take advantage of the opportunity that we had by playing at home again, against Seattle. And that was a really close game. But as I went to the playoffs, in my mind, I was like, there's no way I'm not going to take advantage of this opportunity and play the very best I can every game. And fortunately, I was able to do that against Seattle, against New Orleans, and obviously we came up short in the Super Bowl. But I know I gave it 1,000% in every game and every practice leading up to that point.
Now, you and your brother Julius are the first brother tandem to ever rush for 1,000 yards in one season. That is very impressive. Do you think back on that as well?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's two kids from Big Stone Gap in Southwest Virginia, and played at Powell Valley High School, and representing that area. It's a big deal. It's definitely a big deal, and we're proud to be able to have that accomplishment. Just coming from our family, all the hard work that we put in as kids, all the way up to the NFL, and you have to have a lot of work ethic, a lot of dedication, and a little bit of luck, for things like that to happen. But to be the only brothers in NFL history to have 1,000 yards rushing in the same season is an incredible accomplishment. I'm very proud of Julius because it's very hard to have two brothers that are making plays in the same season, and to get to that point, where you both have 1,000 yards as running backs. It's very hard to get to 1,000 yards in the NFL. So I'm very proud of my brother as well.
Let's talk about, you mentioned that game against the Saints in the NFC Championship. That time from the end of the NFC Championship to you take the field for the Super Bowl, can you kind of walk us through that time? What goes on during those days leading up to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, after the NFC Championship game, you have 2 weeks to prepare for the Super Bowl, and there's a lot of traps, so to speak, that are set up because it's such a big deal. It's such a big event. It's a global event, and depending on the location, our Super Bowl was in Miami, so there's a ton of things to do, a lot of distractions. A couple of days leading into the game, the goal is to focus in on the goal, which is to win the Super Bowl and play well, and try to get rid of all the distractions that have popped up within the last 2 weeks. And by the time you get to the game, I remember riding the bus to the stadium, and I was just in a different zone than I've ever been in any football game I've ever played in. And goosebumps, butterflies. You get into the stadium, and you walk into your locker, and you look at your nameplate, and it has your name and your number, but it has Super Bowl. It's just surreal. So there's a lot of moments that made me just have to pinch myself again and again until the actual ball snapped.
All right, last question. Are you going to be watching the Super Bowl this week, and do you have a prediction on the game for us?
The upside to playing in the Super Bowl is that it's an experience you'll never forget. Um, the downside of playing the Super Bowl is if you lose, because it is the biggest game you'll ever play in, and it's the once in a lifetime opportunity that you've dreamed of. And we ended up losing the game against the Colts, and it really hit me hard. And I don't honestly, a lot of the guys when they lose the Super Bowl, sometimes guys are able to kind of move past it, and sometimes guys are kind of scarred from it. Guys are kind of left, a little disheveled from that loss. And so anytime the playoffs come around, I'm not really a big football watcher anymore these days anyway. Obviously you see it on social media as much as people tweet about it and post. But I haven't watched the Super Bowl since we lost
Wow.
in 2007. So usually I don't watch it. I'll either go to the gym and work out, or if someone has it on in the background, I'll be find something else to do, busy, or make myself busy. But I'm super happy for every team that plays in it, that wins. There's a lot of guys on my old Bears team that feel the same way that I do. Some guys will call me or they'll text me and say, how did we lose that game? And this is, almost 20 years later, and we're still kind of in that Super Bowl funk. But like I said, there's the upsides to the Super Bowl, and the has its negatives if you lose. But it's an exciting time. I'm so happy, that everyone gets to enjoy the Super Bowl, and all the players, especially first-time players, getting to experience it. And I'm sure it'll be a good game.
All right. Thomas Jones, thank you so much for taking some time with us this morning. Good luck with everything you got going on in your life right now.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.